Rick, you obviously work with CAO, Sean with Cohiba, myself with Macanudo. Rick, you've obviously been here the longest. So I guess my question for you is like, I know you had some history with LaGloria, but if there's any other brand that you guys could work on for the company, doing what you're doing now, what would it be?
I would love the challenge that Partagas would give us. Partagas, because I believe in that, not only the cigar, but the name too, because it has such a rich history and everybody knows it, like Cohiba. When you have anybody say, stop, do you smoke cigars? No. Can you name a couple of cigars? I guarantee they're going to name some Cuban cigars, Cohiba, Romeo, and Partagas, because they say that legendary poster everywhere is that Partagas factory with the old car. So I would love the challenge to work on Partagas to see if we can bring some life to that line, because that line is a great line, but some things, just doesn't fit or not rolling down the hill the right way.
Yeah, Sean, before you answer, I have a quick interjection. So Chris and I were actually just talking about this today because Macanudo with the Inspirato line has kind of had a facelift. Punch, same thing. One of these older brands kind of had a facelift with some new innovation. Same thing with Hoyo with the La Amistad. What is it about Partagas that just is so difficult to get people on board with the brand? Like, what is it about Partagas? Because the blends themselves are so good. Why? Yep. Why is it struggling to capture new attention?
So to answer your question, I'm with Rick. If there's any other brand that I could sort of jump in with, it would be Partagas, and for a lot of the same reasons: storied history, and it's sort of the counter to a lot of the typical Cuban legacy brands. We have a real connection with Cifuentes, and just its place and its history and its planting, its flag here in the U.S. going back decades. And I'm like you. I think the blends are great blends, and the Partagas Black. If I recall, that was the first real Maduro I ever smoked as a cigar smoker, sort of early into my love of cigars. And it was sort of the epitome, the barometer for what a full-bodied cigar was. Now, obviously, the market changed over the years, but it's just a very storied brand, a lot of history to it. And I'm of the thinking that Partagas is going to see a reawakening, sort of. Sort of like how Von Dutch sort of got this sort of resurgence, a few years ago, and it's hard to sort of just really keep a lid on really good history, really good bones, really good foundation and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff internally, as you guys know, going on with Partagas, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
that would definitely be the brand.
Rick, do you have somebody watching TV in the background?
Yeah.
They're watching.
Yeah, you want to turn it down?
No, I'm just saying.
Hey, I can turn the music back on.
No. So we have that screen, and then I have a large screen on my wall. So half of the guys are watching the little TV, and the other half is watching this big screen TV. But going back to the Partagas, I think what General Cigar kind of went off the road about 15 years ago was they try to get away from the Cuba theme and start to work on like Partagas Black that they really have no relationship. And so if I was working with that line, I would circle back to the history of Cuba and maybe work on some processing that Cubans are doing today, some different flavors of tobaccos that we can reach for to make a Cuban-esque cigar that's not made in Cuba. Like the one of the cigars I think is the most Cuban cigar that we have is El Rico by LaGloria.
Yeah.
When you smoke that cigar, you just think of Cuba, and that is the reason Ernesto made that line. He says, I want to make a cigar that tastes and a lot acts like a Cuban, but without Cuban tobacco.
Sure. So you really want to bring the heritage and the roots back to the forefront of what that brand is.
Yeah.
Kind of tap into that history as opposed to try to brush it under the rug and start new.
Yeah, or it's just take it on an area and try to connect with fans. Like, you know, we have we have Mackinac, we have Cohiba, we have Cigar, we have Punch doing some wild and crazy things. And Partagas kind of left it behind. I want to do some wild, crazy things. Well, now it's not your game. You know, just go back to your field and play your game. And I think it's hard because a lot of great people have worked on that line. And it's amazing. It's amazing they struggle with this line, but whatever it is,
I may have a little bit more insight into what's going on with the brand and you guys because it's like a little brother brand in our portfolio. So, you know, I sort of joke that if Cohiba's Rolex, then Partagas is Tudor. So we really need to make it sort of perform like Tudor. So there's some cool things in the works. But, you know, there's been a lot of, it's easy when you start getting success from time to time, just start kind of riding that wave a little bit too much and not innovate and not, you know, keep your head on a swivel looking for blind spots. And Partagas had a really, really, you know, nice run for a number of years, and you know, people take their eyes off the ball, and it's no indictment on any particular person. It's just, you know, everything has ebbs and flows, and you know, I've been in this industry 15 years. Rick's been, you know, longer than me. Laurel, you know, damn near a decade probably now. How long? I mean,
which seems crazy. I don't want to think I'm old enough to work in the cigar industry for a decade.
But just think of the changes that we've seen, right? In the industry, and think of the brands that have come and gone. You know, some small, not so small. Like it's been a lot of sort of ebbs and flows. So and the one
but
thing
we have to also
had is a person out front. You know, Punch is like the coolest brand because it has Mr. Punch. Mr. Punch can be anything you want him to be, right? You know, and CAO went from having the original family to having Rick. You know, Macanudo has had Laurel for the last few years. Cohiba has me. Hoyo hasn't necessarily had a person, but it's gotten some sort of injection.
Put a beer in this
so there's been a lot of sort of external forces and maybe face forward approaches to a lot of the other brands, and Partagas hasn't quite had that. And then you've had sort of different levels of success and sales volume among other brands, and that maybe taking a little bit of the steam out of Partagas. But I'm excited about some stuff that I know that's cooking up for Partagas. And, you know,
well, just shows you the power that we believe Partagas has. For us all to Partagas, I would love. It's not
I didn't say Partagas.
How about you?
Wait. Wait.
Don Tomas? What do you want? With Don Tomas?
No, Estrella. Come on, what is it?
What is
the Odyssey?
Yeah, girl. The bundle queen. The bundle queen.
No, Jonathan has already reserved Odyssey for himself. He's always telling me how he wants to be the Odyssey brand ambassador.
Awesome. So you have to answer your own question. What would be your cigar, Laurel?
Mine would be Hoyo.
Oh, another one that suffered, and a great legendary, story behind that line. Yeah. So
fun fact, when I was originally approached about taking an ambassador position, they had me slotted for Hoyo long term. And so when, I think it was like my first sales meeting when we were in Richmond, I was talking to Regis and he was asking like what brands I would be interested in. And I said, Hoyo, Macanudo, and I don't honestly remember what the third one was.
CAO.
So
CAO. Really?
I don't want anything to do with that. For me, I think it's a little bit more like sentimental because Hoyo is really what put General Cigar on the map for me as a company. Like the Hoyo Day tradition has always had a soft spot in my heart. I think the La Amistad series that we do in collaboration with AJ, I mean, and that was even before I had really, that was after I had started and already expressed interest in it. But I just think Hoyo is like Partagas, one of those brands that doesn't get enough credit for what it is. It is solid. We're doing amazing blends. You know, Ed does a really, really good job with innovations and packaging and collaborations. And I just wish more people would pay attention to blends that are older. And I think Partagas has the same pitfalls. It's, oh, it's been around for a long time. What's new, what's fresh, what's exciting? Well, there's a reason these cigars have been on the market for a really long time.